Good evening, everybody. Lundlubber here, and today we're going to bring you probably one of the most jam-packed vault videos that we have had in the past couple months. We did a ton of content this week. I did a bunch of keys on the Shaman to get some gear there, did a bunch of keys on the Warrior, filled out his Myth Vault, did a couple delves, nothing too crazy there. And then the Warlock also did a ton of keys, and filled out a heroic raid. We got 6 out of 8 heroic last week on the Warlock, so we should be able to get some pretty good gear from that, I'm hopeful for. But we're going to start off with the Shaman. As we normally do, we're going to go with the least impactful vault to kind of what we do week to week. We don't play the Shaman very often right now, so I think that that's going to be the best first choice. We did get through at least 4 10s last week. I know I for sure healed a 12. But there were some other keys here and there, so we can just go ahead. We'll open up this vault, see what we ended up getting. Fingers crossed we end up getting that tier, because we are a little behind on tier for the Shaman. So we've got the Restoration Loot Spec going on, and we're just going to rip this bad boy open, see what we get. Look at that. 2 very solid options, honestly. The Trinket is A+. If I remember right. That trinket is very good for most healer specs. So that is probably going to be something that we end up taking. I'm going to double check the builds for Restoration Shaman, see what trinkets they're using. Yeah, that Crystal of Anubicage is one of the best trinkets that you can get. But the tier helmet is also one of the better tiers that you can get for Shaman. And that would give me a myth tier slot. So that's a tough choice ultimately. They're both best in slot. They're both myth track. Tell you what, I think the logic that I'm using here, they're going to be a turbo boost at the end of this season, right? So Blizzard has already said that turbo boost is coming back for season 3. So that means once I time all 12s, I'll be able to buy a myth crystal. I can't buy myth other slots. So I think the choice at that point makes it so it has to be the helmet. That's my logic there. Just might be slower on getting the Crystal of Anubicage, but that's okay with me. So S tier choice on the Shaman there. That was a great option. Now, next least impactful, middle of the pack, we're going to go with the Warlock. So, like I said, cleared out the 6 out of 8 heroic on this guy. I know I'll have 2 myth slots from Mythic Plus and then 1 hero slot. I was 7 out of 8 for getting 3 hero slots and just didn't find the time to do that last one, unfortunately. And I don't think I did very many delves on this guy, so we're not terribly worried about it. But the myth slots are going to be good. If I can get that Void Staff from Soulbinder on this guy, that would go insane. When I simmed that staff last week, it performed significantly better than my 720 crafted at hero item level without upgrading. So, we'll see what we get here. Those are some solid choices, realistically. So we did a bunch of lower delves, right? Not going to take a delve item. A Myth Soleus. That's awesome. This Sunblood Amethyst, poo-poo. Not worried about that. Then we got Myth Chest. Or Hero Chest, I'm sorry. We have Hero Chest, not going to worry about that. Hero Gloves, or Bracers. Damn, I just keep mistyping all the pieces. We already have Hero Bracers and they're better stats for us, so we're going to do that. The Void Glass Chris, I think is probably going to be a pretty solid choice for the offhand. The right answer is we're going to take a little sim action here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit a top gear. And we're going to shoot all this around, sim everything. It's going to be difficult to sim with an offhand because we'll have to add an offhand. So that'll be a little awkward because I don't think we can add a crafted item to that, can we? Thought that we could. Let's just do a... We'll just have to do that, I think. It's going to be a little awkward. Because it's not going to sim quite right without the correct offhand. Essentially, what I'm going to be doing if I take that is I'm going to be switching my embellishment from my staff to an offhand. So then that way I can still get the Dark Moon Sigil Ascendance buff. I can still get the proc from these daggers. And then past that, I can get the trinket, make the proc even harder, and just make it a bit stronger from there. But I'm having difficulties figuring out how to sim that the right way. It seems like it's second behind Sovereign Blade, which is the one-handed sword version that's just got better stats, but I don't really care too much. Trinkets, though. Yeah, the trinkets, we just... Solia's is good, but the Void Core is going to be better, so I think we just take this. Again, the myth slots are trinkets, so if we need to buy those trinkets later, that's the way to do it. So we're just taking the main hand. We'll recraft our offhand today with the embellishment on it. I was hopeful that we could get the bracers crafted with the other embellishment, but we may have to just throw that on another random slot on the Warlock. We'll see kind of what's going on as we start moving into the rest of the week. But now, for the main event, we do have our Warrior. 3 myth slots ready to go for the Warrior. I'm hoping to get a piece of tier or a solid ring or something like that to be able to help out a little bit. But there's some trinkets I would take as well. We already have a myth pacemaker. That's what we got last week. First week, we got myth pants. So, a couple of solid myth slots on this guy already. We are in the protection loot spec, so we're going to rip this vault open, see what we got. Boom. Alright. Alright. So, we've got a bunch of hero options. We're already rocking hero for the majority of this. I'm not terribly worried. But the myth face mask, I think, is going to be the way we go. Because the myth Sackbrood's solid for prot, but I don't think it's one of the best. It's popular, but it's not that great. And this Warp Claw, not even going to consider it. Because splitting the damage that we do to some of these enemies, not worried about that. But now we're in a situation, again, I'll be able to buy a myth trinket later if I need to. I think I just take the myth tier. Just take the helmet. We don't even think about it anymore. Plenty of myth slots that we've been able to loot, so I'm pretty happy about that. Well, that is what we've got for the myth vault today. The great vault today, I apologize. So I appreciate everybody tuning in for this. Make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what you got down below. And we'll see you guys when I go live later today. Gonna try to push some more keys up, see what's going on when it comes to just doing these dungeons as a group. And then maybe we'll start considering doing some raid coming up here in a few weeks with the rest of the guildies. But thanks again for watching, and we'll see you guys on Twitch later today.